Hello everyone, and welcome back to Make Believe, where we're playing the house in Fata Morgana. Last time, we reached the end of the era of innovation, with the silver-haired girl disappearing into the city, leaving Jacopo alone, thinking that he does not love her anymore, and Jacopo confronting Maria after finding out that she had been lying all along. She attempted to shoot him after revealing everything, but he was able to take it and shoot her back between the eyes, killing her while he got some treatment and still was able to live. A bit in misery, but he did live the rest of his life. I mean, yeah, of course you're gonna live the rest of your life, because otherwise you wouldn't be living. Anyway, let's get back to the present. Solitude. Ooh. Okay. The door before you slowly drew shut. You could no longer hear the raucous sound of the men from within the den. The faint scent of cigarette smoke, however, lingered in the air. Staring vaguely at the closed door, you noticed something was amiss. The maid, who had been holding your hand, was no longer at your side. What? Wasn't she always telling me that not let go of her hand and everything while we're going through the memories? How did she gone now? You glanced around, but she was nowhere in sight. Down the corridor stretched only darkness. Not having anticipated this, you were unsure how to react. What's the matter? You lost, or you just trying to take in the sight? A voice called out to you, but it was not the maid's voice. Caught off guard, you spun around, confused, in search of the source. Where are you looking? I'm over here. Yeah, there you go. A little more to the left. Come on. No, not that much. A little less. A little more to the right. Yeah, there we go. Following the voice instruction, you found yourself facing a wall. Is it like in the portrait? You look like you've just seen a ghost. Hey now, come on. Don't turn away. Yeah, there we go. You got it. I'm the one talking to you. The voice was coming from within the painting. Yep, we're in the Harry Potter world now. When you had passed by this wall on your way to the third door, a magnificent landscape painting had been hanging there. I believe I recall us looking at the painting and everything. But now, the canvas was a deep shade of black, as if it had been dipped into a vat of ink. The men in the painting. It's been a while since I talked to anyone. So tell me, can you hear me alright? Can't ya? Can't ya? Splendid. Been so long since I had a conversation, I was afraid I might have forgotten how to talk. So tell me, who might you be? You don't know? Oh, isn't that quite a pickle? Then how about we have a little chat, huh? Maybe it's gonna jog up some memories. You got yourself turned around and aren't sure where to go, yeah? Well, I'll be happy to tell you anything I can. Just ask away. The painting sounded rather high-spirited. Perhaps he was simply excited to have the opportunity to speak with someone. So you decided you would ask the painting a few questions. Can I pick the question? Oh, yeah. Who are you? Who am I? I feel like we already know that neither of you know who you are. What is this place? Who is the maid? Ooh. Interesting. Who are you? Who are you seems like the direct one that I feel like we should know it at some point anyway. Who am I? We already established that neither of you know this. What is this place? It's the Rose Manor that grants us the wishes. We kind of have somewhat of an answer already from the stories we've seen. Who is the maid? Now, I wonder if this is going to be a throwaway, like, good question. She's just been around the manor for centuries. Or are we going to actually have some answer for this? So I'm between who's the maid or who are you? I'm gonna try the maid one. Might as well ask her that directly. Okay. Oh, that did not help. But she won't say to you again your old self. I see. Well, in that case, if you want to know, you know what you gotta do. It's entirely up to you whether you make an ally or an enemy out of her. Ooh. There's no guaranteeing she's even right in the head. You never know. Maybe you're not the only one who hasn't found themselves. Ooh, profound, I see. Okay, we can go back to asking more. So, who are you? Me? Well, as you can see, I'm a painting. Oh, you're a painting, not the man in the painting? Why did I end up as a painting anyways? Hard to say. Maybe I was reborn as a painting because I used to really like art. So there are things I painted that I wish I hadn't. Wait, you're a painter? Are you perhaps the silver hair girl's father in the first era we went to? Maybe that's regret what's turned me into this. Hopefully I get the chance to apologize to him about that. Him who? And who? No point in getting into any more detail than that. Wouldn't mean anything to you, so enough about me. Oh, right. You don't know anything about yourself either. A shame that. Alright then. A favor for you, since you can't tell me about yourself. If you run into him, could you tell him I really regret what I did? And who is him? I know I should tell him myself, but, well, as you can see, I'm kinda stuck here. I told you, I'm stuck here. Can't move an inch. So, I gotta ask for help. I feel absolutely terrible about painting that picture. Wanna know who you're talking about? What picture? I know, yeah, the deadline's way past that one, but that's what makes it a regret, yeah? Because you can't take it back. Unless you scum save, but let's not talk about that. By the time I had realized, it was too late. He was already dead. So how can I apologize for him in your place then, if you know he's dead? He's long since passed away. Huh? Are you supposed to give a dead fellow a message? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Well, for all you know, the dead could be wandering to this hall too. Ghosts. Once again, Harry Potter. So please, if you come across him, tell him I said that. That I didn't mean any harm with that painting. Or maybe you are him? Ooh. Am I a reincarnation of the person he's talking about since he's saying the person's dead? Kind of like the silver hair girl is always reincarnating the stories. Oh, we can keep going. Well, I guess we're gonna go with what is this place since who am I? We already established that we don't know. Oof, talk about some hard-hitting questions you got there, fella. I'm probably not the one who will be able to answer that for you. I don't have a very deep connection with dimension, you see. I swear, I got nothing to gain from lying, do I? My regrets that turned me into this. I wasn't summoned here by no one. That said, there is one thing I can tell you. This place summons people. Just like in the era of the beasts, we saw that quite well. People who have ties to something that happened long ago. No one knows anything ever happened. No one knows anything even happened. I didn't know either. Till she told me. Though I haven't the foggiest of how much of it's true or not. Are you here because you were summoned by her? And I'm guessing her is the maid? Or did you come here of your own will? To find someone, perhaps? If you came here for your own volition, and you weren't summoned by her, then mayhaps you would be the one who can break... Ooh, is there like a curse? And in the end, we're asking all the questions anyway. Just because you don't know who you are, doesn't mean you can go around asking other people. I know, right? That was a very dumb question to ask. I'm not a person, you say? Well, no. You're right there. But I'm not gonna know anything about you that you can't tell me yourself. I mean, for where I'm standing, you look almost like a walking cloud of shadow. I can't even tell what you look like. The maid who was with you before, did she call you master? I see. But the question is, which era's master are you? How many doors have you been through? 3 so far. 3 doors, huh? And of those, did any of them bring anything back? Ah, well, it's not an easy thing, recovering yourself. Or maybe you weren't behind any of those 3 doors to begin with. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That was your first time witnessing those tragedies, after all. And yet, each door is a tragedy. Yours is another door, I suppose. So tell me, how did you feel looking behind those doors? Was it frightening, saddening, heart-wrenching? The first one, yeah, I guess you can say was frightening when the Nellie went off about her obsession with her brother. Other than that, I guess it was heart-wrenching. The second one, yeah, it was saddening, heart-wrenching, frightening, all of the above. The third one was heart-wrenching and sad for sure. Wouldn't really call it frightening, but yeah. Well, let me tell you something. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. If the next door opens yours, will you be able to bear it? Will you be able to accept your own tragedy? It's one thing seeing others suffering, but your own, now that's a different story. You have to face emotions you wanted to keep buried, secrets you wanted to keep hidden away, and pain you wanted to forget. Do you think you'll be able to accept them as your own? You can't. I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't accuse you of running if you chose not to reclaim your old self. Nothing's wrong with erasing your memories of something if it was so bad you didn't want to face it in the first place. Let it be rewritten as someone else's story. That'll make it a whole lot easier on you. Because you never know. The most unfortunate tale of all may well be your own. Or perhaps that goes for everything about you. You won't know till you see it. Well, I guess that's true enough. But once you do, there might not be any turning back. Yeah? Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? You do. If you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real, precisely that. Oh, fabrication. I'm worried about the next era, huh? If it turns out you're someone from behind the next door, then perhaps you're my... And it's gonna cut off there. I haven't talked that much in a long time. Feels great. Okay, so he just decided not to say it. And now that I got it out of my system, I should be able to get some good sleep. You're probably still wandering in the dark right now, but I really hope you find the outcome you want. I mean that. You can either reclaim your old self, or you can toss it aside. The choice is yours, either way. Now, since it looks like your escort isn't showing up, what do you plan to do next? How about taking a look around the place, since you got a little free time? Could be you come across some things you wouldn't with her around. Oh, right. If you're gonna go exploring, I got the perfect thing for you. Stick your hand into the canvas, would you? The painting was still wrapped in an impenetrable darkness. A perfect, all-consuming void. The man had told you to put your hand into it. You... Sure. I guess. We apparently traveled into a story before in the frame of a blackened screen, so I don't see why we should refuse. You extended your hand for the painting. The moment your fingertips brushed against the darkness, it swallowed your entire hand up to the wrist. No, not there. No. That tickles. A little to the right. Yeah, there we go. As the man the painting had instructed, you groped around the inside of the darkness. Before long, you felt something hard at your fingertips. Clenching the object, you withdrew your hand. Your arm was still intact, thankfully. You spread your fingers, and there you found a key. Key to victory. Ah, that tickled. With that key, you can access the master bedroom. A while back, she tossed it into me. The damn litter bug. So yeah, it ain't mine. Don't worry about giving it back. However, I bet there's something worth seeing in there. If she felt the need to toss that key. Alright, well, I'm gonna get some sleep. You take care. If you happen to learn my name, don't pay me another visit, would ya? If the fancy strikes you, at least. Oh, good night. Having said that, the painting fell quiet. In your hand lay a small key. It seemed rather antiquated and vaguely familiar. Silence once again drew over the corridor. You stood there all alone, no sign of the maid. After considering it for a few moments, you decided to explore the mission on your own. Ooh. Oh my god, there's so many options here. Okay, we can call for the maid, go to the master bedroom, go to see the stained glass window, go to the library, go to the cellar, go to the rose garden, go to the den. The den? Go to the fireplace, go to the entrance. Okay, interesting here. Rose garden seems to be the waxen hair family story. The cellar is the other story with the beast. But stained glass kind of reminds me when we went through the painting the other time, when I had to retrace our steps. Would the library or the den be the area of invention again? I kind of want to go to the master bedroom to see what's up there. But maybe I should go to another place first? The library could be good with books and stuff. Let's go there. Hopefully we'll be able to go to the master bedroom afterwards. The smell of dusty books filled the air of the library. You approach a shelf to examine one of the books. And suddenly, an avalanche of them came falling to the floor. Oh no. You stare blankly at the mountain of books. They had fallen down on their own, but they showed no sign of putting themselves away. Since no one else was there to do it, you began placing the books back on the shelf. One, two, three, a dozen. And as soon as you had gotten them all back up, they all came crashing back down again. I'm not very good at organizing stuff, am I? You wish very much to implore of the maid's assistant, but she did not appear to be in the area. Pretending you had not seen anything, you made your way back into the hallway. So, no luck there. How about the fireplace? Because I feel like going to the master bedroom is going to end it all, but at the same time, I don't want to miss the chance, because maybe there's like a number of places you can go before she shows up. You made your way to the room with the fireplace. What remained of the fire crackled weakly, leaving the room in a veil of darkness. You remembered that you had awoken there. Out of sheer curiosity, you sat down in the rocking chair you had been asleep in. Creak, creak, creak. It was as soothing as a cradle to a baby. and in short order, you found your consciousness drifting from your grasp. Oh? What's going on? Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can't be near the fire. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Hey, do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library. Your eyes slowly slid open. Fragments of pleasant dreams linger in the back of your mind. The crackling of a fire, the taste of a warm wine. However, there was nothing pleasant about the fireplace sitting before you. No warm, crackling flames. In fact, the brisk air of the room overpowered the remnants of the amber left there. A chill ran down your spine. Afraid you might freeze stiff if you stay there much longer, you resumed your exploration of the mansion. Now hold up, I'm curious here. I'm gonna save early this time, so that in case we stop the exploration, we can go back to it. Because I kind of want to see everything. So I want to see if going to the master bedroom is going to end this, or can I keep going? You inserted the key you had been given into the door's keyhole. And with a twist, the door opened. The master bedroom was shrouded in darkness, much like every other room in the mansion. It had evidently been left unused for some time. The air in the room was stale and forlorn. Master? A voice seemed to ring out from somewhere. Come on, get up. Up with you. Master. Oh? Am I seeing a memory? And is this a silver hair girl with the short hair? See? What did I tell you? So much nice in here with a little light. Without warning, your whole world took on bright, vivid colors. Light streamed through the window, illuminating a well-lived bedroom. We got a music going, and I can't help but notice there's no anything around this indicating an era. So hopefully we're not into the next story already. Well, wait a second. Don't you hide under your bedspread? Get out of there. Oh, but master, you agreed that I could open the windows. Don't worry, I put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Morning takes the best part of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. Like this music? The joyous song of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of leaves, and this music in your ears. You tried to call out to the silhouette, but it did not respond. Reach out for her, your hand simply passed through her body. So am I like just a ghost seeing images of the past right now? It did not seem to be you that she was speaking to. Perhaps you were looking at a scene from some other period of time. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality too. Now, hear me out first. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind enough nice too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so you got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning, after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other now. Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to do before? Where should we begin? Ooh, I know! We can get this place cleaned up. Now that there's some actual lighting here, we can see all sort of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place. And we weren't able to see who that actually was. When the woman's shadow faded away, the master's bedroom transformed back to its old dreary state. Master, can you say my name? You were unsure how to describe the urge welling up within your breast. You could not say her name. So, is the maid there? You stood unmoving in the master bedroom for some time, but it did not appear anything else was going to happen. So you decided to head somewhere else. Okay, now we can keep going then. How about the entrance? You made your way to the mansion's entrance. There was no one around, nor any source of light. Groping through the darkness, you found the front door, which was sealed shut with a heavy bar. You pressed against the bar, but it remained firmly in place. The door did not budge either. It seemed you could not leave the mansion. You're trapped in here. Burn the witch. Crucify the impure. When you made a step away from the entrance, you heard a muffled voice. You looked around, but were unable to determine the source of the voice. Nor could you be sure whom you had heard either. Giving up on finding anything in the entrance, you decide to head somewhere else. Okay. Let's go to the stained glass window then. Yeah. We saw this in the beginning, I believe, and when we went to that painting after the second era. You approached the stained glass window. An array of pews was arranged facing the stained glass. No idea what pews are. There seemed to be an air of tranquility around the room. You sat down in one of the pews and stared quietly forward for some time. Is it like those long benches in church? Is that what a pew is? For a moment, you felt like you were on the verge of recalling something, but ultimately, the memory never managed to surface. The maid did not appear to be there. Where could she have gone? You decided to resume exploring the mansion. Okay, let's check the rose garden then. Are we gonna hear the music from back then? Look, your head is covered in roses. Oh, you got petals on the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to. Though you could hear the sound of children laughing, you could not see them. I only imagined that's Mel and Nellie. Regardless, their cheerful voices warmed your heart. You decided to linger there in the garden for some time. Along with the children's laughs, wafted a sweet fragrance. The wind blew, whisking flower petals up into the air. It was an enchanting sight. But after a while, the roses began to wilt. You could no longer hear the children's voice either. Time is flashing forward. A young man stood alone in the withered rose garden. And I'm guessing that's Mel? As you drew nearer, you called out to the youth. But the young man did not appear to notice you. He merely stood there, staring vacantly across the garden. The youth muttered something in a lifeless voice. This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted a normal, peaceful life. I can't bear being alone. I can't take this. Someone Get me out of here. Oh God. Tell me that I'm not the bad one here. You tried to call the young man several times, but he did not seem to hear you. He simply continued muttering to himself. Before long, the youth's shadow faded into nothing. Unable to bear the chilly air any longer, he stepped back into the mansion. And I'm guessing the cellar, we're gonna explore the second story again. Maybe when you descended to the cellar, you heard beast-like snarling. Yep. Along with it came a sour odor and the sound of ripping flesh. You could not see the beast, but that did not make it any less unpleasant. Oh, for sure, just hearing the sound. You made to retreat from the cellar. Well then, but before you could, a shadowy creature lunged at you. You reflexively squeezed your eyes shut, but it just passed by you. Just like in the other stories. Yeah, there he is. Was it Yukimasa, I believe was his name? After several moments, you open your eyes again to find a silhouette of a man standing in place of the beast. You and the shadow stared at one another for some time. You asked the shadow a question, and the shadow responded. Oh, he actually responded. Well, that didn't answer anything. However, you had no idea what it said. It probably said it in Japanese. The shadow seemed to be trying to communicate something to you, but trying to make sense of something you could not understand was pointless. Let's play mimicry, then. Having no reason to remain in the cell any longer, you made your way back upstairs. So I guess we're going to go to the den, and if that's not it, we're gonna call for the maid. Yeah, the den is the era of innovation, with the billiards table here and everything. The scent of cigarette smoke lingered in the den. However, the room was silent. Not even an echo of the man chattering remained. Something was moving. Billiard balls. There was no one present to strike the balls. They rose spontaneously around the table. Definitely a haunted house. The path they traced across the surface were rough and erratic, contrasting that of when the former mass had held the cue. The spheres collided awkwardly with one another, not a single one coming close to the pockets. As an experiment, you pulled a ball off the table. In response, the path for the balls became even clumsier. Having lost one of their targets, they began bouncing aimlessly off the cushioned walls of the table. As they stared intently at the table, a man's voice rang out from somewhere in the room. Is this Jacopo? Spinning around, you saw the silhouette of a man. However, you could not make out what the man was saying. The man thrust his finger at the table. He appeared to want you to return the ball. You reluctantly placed a billiards ball back on the table. When you did, the balls resumed endlessly colliding with one another, never landing in any of the pockets. You know, it's like that TV, the DVD thing, bouncing around the screen. You looked up to find the shadow gone. Having determined that the maid was not going to appear in the den, you exit the room, making your way back into the corridor. Oh, back to the stained glass. That's interesting. Let's call for the maid then. You tried calling for the maid. Quiet. A sense of loneliness fell over you. Oh, that did not work. We can keep calling for the maid, but I don't think that's gonna make a change. Oh, I guess we're going to the stained glass window again. You returned to the room with the stained glass window. You had searched throughout the mansion, but had no luck finding the maid. You felt somewhat tired, though you were not quite sure whether it was physical, exhaustion, or otherwise. You had little interest in doing any more moving about. Taking a seat in one of the pews, you gazed up at the stained glass. Staring sullenly down back at you was the archangel that to wait the souls of the deceased. Perhaps he was trying to wait your soul. I guess we're gonna be calling the maid. Master? Master? There we go. Oh, there you are, Master. You gave me quite a scare. After returning from the third door, you disappeared without a word. Oh my, it was I who disappeared? That is quite strange. I did not go anywhere, as far as I'm aware. Nevertheless, I'm glad to have found you. I would have been at a complete loss for what to do if I had been separated from you yet again. I did, indeed, say that when you first arrived. Been waiting for your return for a very long time. For centuries, as a matter of fact. That would make me a ghost, then, you say? Or a vampire. Most likely a vampire. I am very much not a ghost. Can't say about the vampire, though. Would I be able to hold your hand if I were? Saying this, the maid took your hand. It was cold enough to send a shudder down your spine, and completely devoid of life. Though as chilly as it may have been, you still took comfort in the feeling of her hand in yours. The maid looked down at you with gentle eyes. After a few moments of silence, she sat down beside you. The stained glass is quite beautiful, is it not? Every time I see it, it brings a tranquility to my heart. A dreadful, deep-rooted curse afflicts this mansion, you see. However, this room is the one exception. Can you feel the purity that hangs in the air, Master? Yes? What is it, Master? You are correct. I didn't say anything. The stained glass window had been shattered and was not present in the time period of the previous tale. Ah, yeah. I wonder. Perhaps it is because the mansion we are in presently resides in a realm separate from the real world? I'm sorry, what? We are in a world constricted from myriad memories and histories. So, this is a memory and we're visiting other memories and not the actual place? I'm sure that when you regain your old self, Master, the mansion too shall be restored to its original state. So do try and remember, alright? Hmm? Oh, yes. Where did you go in my absence, Master? I see. So you explored the mansion then. And did you find anything noteworthy? Memories? I'm not quite sure what you mean. How peculiar. As a servant of this house, I pride myself on being aware of most everything present within these walls. I wonder whose memory it could be. Like I said, I imagined it was Mel, Yukimasa, Jacopo, and I guess the silver hair girl in the master bedroom. Was there any others? I don't think so. The key to the master bedroom? Why did I throw away the key? Beg your pardon? You say a painting told you? You could see perplexity on the maid's face. Understandably. You had never seen her make such an expression before. I... I know nothing of any key. Okay. She's looking away when she's saying that, so clearly she's hiding something. Oh, Master, you should not tell jokes meant to cause others discomfort. But a talking painting, you say? You seem to have a rather vivid imagination. Maybe you can tell the next tale, Master. I am only teasing after all. Now, that was a nice break, but we should get moving. The tale I'm about to show you, the last of the mission's memory. Oh, the last! I'm certain that you remember yourself after seeing it. Garfy, the final door is not far. And please, do not let go of my hand. And as we know, this is the biggest tragedy of them all, apparently. It seems like it's gonna be a beautiful story, but it's only fake. Holding your hand, the maid led you to the far end of the room. Crossing beneath the stained glass window, a metal door came into view. Our destination lies at the top of these stairs. There, we will find one last door. You pushed open the metal door, revealing a long, long spiral staircase. The spiral staircase makes me think of a tower, which reminds me of the silver hair girl's story in the first era that she said that her father told her about. Yeah, the stairs, the image. I. Ooh, okay. It's actually moving upwards. That's kind of neat. It'll be a bit of a walk, so let us be on our way. And please, do watch your step. This is called an observation tower. Normally, towers such as these were built in castles or churches, so it is rather strange for there to be one in a mansion. To be fair, it was inside the church. Not, is it? Oh, something like a church in the mansion. I forgot what's the correct word for it. But yeah, basically the church part of the mansion had this tower. The last door, which show you, Master, resides at the top of this tower. Rectangular windows were carved out of the stone in several locations along the way up to the spiral staircase. You attempted to peer out one of the windows, but all you could see was a thick layer of fog. Perhaps the maid's suggestion that the mansion did not presently reside in reality was, in fact, correct. With each step upward, you found yourself gripped by an indescribable sense of anxiety. A feeling somewhat resembled irritation or annoyance. Really now. Sensing this, the maid tightly gripped your hand. There's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. All in the past, after all. No matter what may happen, so long as you do not let go of my hand, you have nothing to fear. Not like we disappeared from each other after the last one, right? You and the maid continue climbing the stairs, up and up, round and around, marching ever nearer the supposed final door. High up in the tower, as the light from below drew distant, a rotten wood door came into view. Wooden? I'm sorry, this is a wooden door? Maybe because of the coloring, but it kind of makes me think like it's a metal door. Patches of what appears to be blood stained the surface. Ooh, that is not a good sign. And holes had been bored into it with a sharp object of some sorts. Once again, not a good sign. You heard a scream from far below, where no one should have been. I repeat, not a good sign. Kill the witch. Kill the witch. Kill the witch. Burn her. Burn her. Burn her. You were struck with fear. The next moment, the maid opened the door. Then, the next era starts. You slowly descend into darkness. The fourth door. 1099. Oh, so we're going back in the past. I don't remember. I think this is before the Waxen family. The Waxen hair family. Before this music goes longer. The Misty Manor. Anyway. So that's it for this episode. We did some exploring without the maid. And we talked to painting. So it seems like there's something being hidden from us here. Because she doesn't know about the painting. And she says she doesn't know about the key. But is that really the truth? Well, seems like we're inside of memory, exploring other memories. And as the painting said, this one may seem like everything's gonna be doing great, but it's all a farce. So this might be the worst one, apparently. Well, we gotta brace ourselves for this next tragedy. But that is something for next week. Because that's all for today, and with that being said, see you next time. Bye!